Further south, beef exports on the Darling Downs have taken a hit, again from international markets. This afternoon's shift at Beef City near Toowoomba was the last for 2 weeks. Japan's tsunami and competition with the United States have caused a downturn in demand. Queensland beef sales to Japan have dropped more than $1.3 billion in the past financial year. Karen Binney reports.
Beef City near Toowoomba is one of the Darling Downs' biggest employers. The abattoir can process 1,100 head of cattle a day and caters for 26,000 beef on the feedlot. Workers were told late on Tuesday that production will cease for 2 weeks. Those owed holidays are taking them.
I think it was a shock. I think they found it a bit of a shock because it's the first time in the history of Beef City that anything like this has ever happened.
The initial job fears have turned to acceptance.
I think some were a little bit afraid, but now since everything's come to a head and management and the union have been talking together, staying very close to each other actually on that, helping people, everyone's calmer now.
And there's hope business will return to normal soon.
We're having a 2-week break.
Japan is Queensland's biggest trading partner and the state's #1 beef export destination. But the financial aftershocks from March's devastating earthquake and tsunami are still sending waves through the state's economy.
Well, the Beef City plant is wholly and solely just for that Japanese market. As I understand, there's a little bit of grass-fed comes out of there, but it's predominantly the grain-fed market and has been for, to my knowledge, the last 20 years. So I suppose they have got a very good name in Japan, and nobody could foresee what happened in Japan, and it's causing some concern. So I suppose we've just got to press on and hope it can be all resolved.
The United States has re-entered the Japanese markets, putting more strain on Darling Downs exports.
There's a problem with a glut in Japan and the Australian dollar, the high Australian dollar, and the American market is back into Japan since the concerns with the BSE outbreak in 2003. So we understand that a lot of that grain-fed product is getting fed through the US.
Are you worried other companies may make similar decisions, and have any indicated they're thinking about it?
No, there's no rumblings in the industry in terms of the grass-fed and that type of product. That's all moving very, very well. But anyone that's tied strictly to grain-fed and the Japanese market, I suspect they might endure some problems.
Last financial year, beef exports to Japan dropped 14%, or $1.3 billion.
Australian beef exports and Queensland obviously increased at the time of mad cow disease and others around the world, and we've seen strong competition from America in recent years, so this is not a new phenomenon. But what you are seeing in Japan is lower demand because of the economic troubles in Japan from the Fukushima earthquake, and so clearly it's the case that we need to make sure that we're aggressively marketing, but ultimately it's the demand issues from Japan.
Toowoomba's Mayor Peter Taylor's concerned by the shutdown.
1,000 people out of work for a couple of weeks is very significant. It has a flow-on effect, and that raises my concern.
He's hopeful the company will honour its July the 15th restart date.
There's a significant industry behind the feedlots there, with the feedlot industry that generally feeds into this abattoir and processing plant. So, no, I don't believe it's more than just a temporary closure. A couple of weeks is significant to our workers. However, in the broader economy of Toowoomba and this region, it's just a minor bump in the road.
Beef City is owned by Brazil multinational JBS. 730 offered a representative the opportunity to comment, but they declined. The company says it'll continue working with the union about the welfare of staff during the shutdown. It's also talking to its international wholesalers.
Beef City's been around for a lot of years now. It won't close down yet. We've got a long way to go. We sell the best beef in Australia, the world.